only used to be with young, crazy, and that black rolling on swings. People wanna know who from with me, nobody but the bang, bang. Please don't forgive me, street rules learned in the city, sing.
Off the radar, back at it. Today, I'm joined by a Philadelphia rapper who was a member of State Property, was a member of Roc-A-Fella Records, among many other things. That's right, I'm with none other than Peedi Crakk. Peedi, how we doing?
Yes, sir. I'm good. Nick, how you feeling, man?
I'm doing real good, man. You doing well with all the crazy things going on in the world today?
Yeah, man, it's crazy, but sometimes when you go through a lot of stuff in life already, you just kind of already prepared for just whatever, you know what I mean? So I was already just in survival mode. We've been like that for ever since I was a teenager. Once I got out on my own, I've been in survival mode. So I'm never surprised, man, whether it's a pandemic or whatever, man. You just gotta be ready, man. You gotta be a soldier about the situation.
Okay, so you're in survival mode. So basically, you weren't necessarily scared, but you're always prepared for the worst.
Yeah, I wasn't scared, man, because things like this happened in the world before, and those people had to survive and get through it. So it didn't scare me, man. I don't really get scared much, man. I had to identify that when I was younger. I would never get startled. It would just make me aware. I suffer from paranoia. I'll get paranoid, but I'm never scared. Like, you know what I mean? But
Okay.
I do be paranoid, and I might overthink things because I just want to be cautious. But the fear of something happening, I don't feel that a lot. The fear part, because I can't do nothing. Some things you can't do nothing to change it. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Okay, so now
yeah, I just got a little paranoid and make me get cautious. That's all.
Interesting. Okay, so when you say you're never really scared, but you can be paranoid, would you relate that to your career? So say you have a big performance, you're not scared, but maybe you're paranoid something might go wrong, or
that's a perfect example. All right, so like right before a big show, I'm not afraid because I love to perform, and for the most part, they're going to show. They know us. You know what I mean? We got hits, and so it's not like back when you was a new artist and you don't know how they're going to take to you. I know when we go out there, or when I go out there, most likely the crowd going to go crazy. So I'm not afraid of that. I just get a little anxiety because the time before you actually get to the stage is a weird time for me. I feel some nervousness, but it's not fear because I know what's going to happen when we go out there. I'm going to kick right into gear.
Right.
But I do suffer from things. I do get the anxiety, though, of it. Yeah, gotcha. Badly.
Okay.
Like so bad that I can't even sleep the night before sometimes.
Oh, really? So you lose sleep the night before when something big's about to happen or a big performance?
Mostly every time something big's about to happen the next day, I don't sleep the day before.
Okay. Interesting. So when was the first time you ever remember trying to rap?
All right, so that's a little different. I've always loved rap, and I would always mimic artists that I grew up watching since the age of maybe 7, 8 years old. Back in those days with LL Cool J and the Fat Boys and Public Enemy and all of that era, and Run DMC, I would mimic them. But you mean, when did I realize? When I started to want to write my own raps and rap
first time
myself?
You tried it, you didn't necessarily even want to be a professional. Say you were 13 years old, you just tried it with a friend or on record. What first time you can just remember?
We would play around when I was maybe 9 or 10 years old. Was playing around.
Okay.
See, it's because see, now rap been around for these young kids. It's not, rap isn't new. They're new to rap, like a young kid. If you like 8 or 9 and you just coming in. When I was 8 or 9, rap was brand new. It wasn't. It hasn't been here. It was a child like I was. Rap, hip hop was young.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't but since back in the day. Yeah. This was in the 80s. Hip hop had just started, man. Like I caught the very beginning of it.
And that's when they thought it was still going to be a fad when it was first coming out, probably when you're 8 or 9 as well.
That's all they would say. Yo, that music ain't going to be around too long. And I knew it would be around a long time because I knew the way it made me feel. And then I would see how it would make, how other people would react to it. and I could understand why they act that way. I'm like, yo, I understand, I get it. It's just something that get into you. So I was like, yo, this music ain't going nowhere.
Gotcha. So you have a very unique style. It doesn't really remind me of many people, but only when I kind of study your style. Maybe it reminds me a little bit of
Mm-hmm.
Slick Rick. Would you say he inspired you at all?
Yo, you hit it on the nose, man. He would be maybe one of my top 5 inspirations coming up in hip hop that I would kind of mimic his style until I got my own, my own identity. But when I was a kid, I had my Slick Rick era where I was just listening to all Slick Rick stuff and studying the album. I knew every word to every song, that type of vibe. So yeah, Slick Rick was definitely a big inspiration to me majorly. I always shout him out. I even did a
Awesome.
couple of his songs over.
Okay.
Yeah.
What songs did you do redo for Slick Rick's, I should say?
I did Mona Lisa, which is one out of the songs that I did of his is like people's favorite one because I kind of did it to the T. I didn't change. I only changed the words, but I used the exact same melody and format that he used from the beginning to the end of the song.
Okay.
I just changed the content. I changed the content and the words, and I used the same beat, and it's kind of classic in my, where I'm from.
Excellent. For some reason, I've never came around to seeing that song. I'll have to look that up definitely after the video. That
Yeah,
sounds
look
pretty
it
cool.
up. Peedi Crakk, Mona Lisa.
100% will, definitely. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
in 2001, I guess you could make the argument you got your big break when you signed to Roc-A-Fella Records. But didn't you have an audition with Roc-A-Fella before and it didn't turn out real well?
I did. They don't remember that, but I remember because it was a heartbreaker. It broke me down for a while. This was previous before Freeway even got signed. We were managed. Me and Freeway was in a group called Ice City, and we was managed by a guy named Dao. So he had some connections, and he was able to get us the opportunity to go rap in front of JayZ and Damon Dash. So we all piled up in the truck, and we young. We probably like 18, 19 years old. Me, Freeway, a couple other guys, and we get out there. And Freeway, he had showmanship, and he wasn't scared of crowds. See, I was still shy. I wasn't certain about myself. But Freeway had been doing this. He been out there in the public. See,
Okay.
I used to rap just in the house. I used to keep my raps to myself. I would rap for my mom or just for my close homies and little Snickers, and you know what I mean? Not really, not bold enough to jump out the window yet. Freeway already had a little hit single in the neighborhood and a little video. Freeway was already on his way to stardom. He was ready to go. So we get out there. He performed in front of them, no problem. I get out there. Most likely I was probably rapping, looking at the ground. You know how you look at the ground, you don't want to look up and make eye contact. And I probably was mumbling and low and all of that. It wasn't time yet. I wasn't ready. So when we went home, they love Freeway to death. When we went home, I was just kind of hurt. Nobody would say nothing too. That's when you know you did bad.
Oh.
When nobody says anything about it. Nobody mentioned it because they
So
know already that
they weren't even encouraging to the extent where, oh, you did pretty good, you were almost there, but they were just kind of giving you the silent treatment, which made you thought it was even worse.
Yeah. So thank God, Damon and them, they don't remember me from that day. When he met me, he acted as if it was the first time he ever seen me in his life.
Okay.
I was a new person. I was a new person to him.
So how did things change when you actually got signed?
I mean, what you mean specifically? How did my life change?
So you got signed in 2001. What was different? Were you more prepared? Were you over the nervousness or?
Oh, okay. So yeah. So in between the time, whatever year that was when we first went up there as teenagers, and I did horrible. From that time to 2000 and what was 2 when I got signed?
2001 you got signed, and I believe your first song was 2002.
Yeah, it was 2001 because my son was just born, and he was born in 2001. So in between that time, that span, a lot happened. One of the things I'm gonna name that happened that put a lot of fire up under me and changed my perspective and made me really more aggressive and just gave me that I don't give a F attitude was, me and Freeway was in a group previous a while back in the day when we was kids.
Right.
He ended up getting signed. He got discovered by Beanie Sigel. He got signed, kind of stepped away from the group, and our relationship it wasn't so good anymore. And now I'm watching him on television, right? I'm still in North Philly, home, selling weed, not sure what I'm going to do with my life. And it was me and his cousin was my partner, his cousin Indy 500.
Okay.
So me and Five, I guess from me being in a group with Freeway, with Five being his cousin and us, we felt like he should have did more for us not knowing how hard it was up there for him. Because you think when somebody gets signed, you think that it's on and popping for them.
Right.
And I thought that until I actually got signed and I saw that that's when the job really starts. When you get up there, because now you got to impress and you got to be consistent and you got to be productive and you just got to keep it coming. It's way more work than just rapping around the way in a little rap group in the neighborhood. So we didn't know these things, and we just had this. I had this little bitterness inside of me towards Free, which I was wrong for. I know now, but I was young and I used that anger and it fueled me, and I really just start going really hard in the studio. I started going hard, and I just started to build this type of attitude. Just that whole Peedi Crakk persona started to form, and I started getting really more aggressive with the music. And it started to reflect on my flow and my content, and I started knocking like 5 songs out a day, and I was just going bananas. And that's what happened in the meantime. So next time they see me, I was a different person.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a whole different. It wasn't the same kid no more.
Different person. So you said you were kind of bitter, and it was. Go ahead.
I don't know. I'm saying I believe that's what drove me. That's what got me signed. I believe the aggression. They didn't know that. Damon them. He just thought I was a crazy dope kid, but he didn't know that I was walking around with this chip on my shoulder and shit. You know what I mean?
It's funny they don't recognize you. And you said it was a bitterness and you were wrong for being bitter about it. But at the same time, you can make the argument that you weren't wrong because it kind of motivated you, correct? To get where you were.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the motivational part of it, but my attitude and my reason why I believe is wrong. Because Freeway, my friend, he family. We consider each other family. So at the time, I just felt like he owed us something, and it should have been more supportive. I should have just been supportive, but I wanted to go along too, and I felt like he just left us.
Gotcha.
But I didn't until I got there myself, and my friends that be around me, and I couldn't be there for them, and now they acting crazy with me and talking about me like, oh man, Crakk just left us. I'm like, yo, I'm trying to do something big so I can come get everybody. I can't be here with y'all and do this. I said, damn, this is what Freeway was going through.
Gotcha.
This is exactly what he did. You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Awesome. So in 2002, you drop your first song. You got the State Property on it. It's called One for Peedi. It charts well. It's all over MTV,
right.
BET. I'm hearing it in the clubs. So your fans, including myself, we're all excited. We have expectations for this first album. Why do you think that never came out?
Once again, man, reflecting back. See, everything is about reflection. That's why now, as you get older, you do get wiser. And you have more patience with my thought process and how I handle things, because I know the way I feel right now. If we was arguing right now, I may say things and feel some way towards you that a year from now, I get to sit back and look at the situation and I can see where I might have been wrong a little bit at. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So now that you're asking me now, what do I think why the album never dropped? If you asked me back then, I would have had all these things to tell you what was wrong about the label and Damon Dash and whoever. And I might not have said too much about myself. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But for the most part, I won't take all the blame, but for the most part, the part that I played, I think I was too young. I was very immature. I was in it for the wrong reasons. I wasn't in it at the time to create a legacy and the bombest album and start a company and get my business straight. I was just in it to get the girls, get drunk, party, spend money, and cut up. I was just one. It was one big party for me.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All good
So
reasons.
I would take the blame.
Yeah.
I would take the blame because I wasn't being responsible at all.
Gotcha.
I wasn't. It was a dope opportunity, but at the time, my mentality wasn't ready to take it to that level at all.
Okay, so as soon as One for Peedi drops, were you getting attention from the girls and from everybody right away? Because remember the hot beat, everybody saw you, they're like, who is this? Oh my goodness.
Oh, right away, man. Right away. It went crazy. It was so crazy. I feel like it was a dream. I'm telling you. I used to be in a daze. I was in a daze for a long time, like, and I mean like in a daze, like, so whereas though everybody would say the same thing. A lot of my family would be like, yo, are you all right? I'm like, yeah, I'm cool. They're like, yo, you don't even realize what's going on, do you? I said, I guess, because I couldn't see it because it was just too surreal for me. But I guess people on the outside is really seeing it, like, yo, this is really happening. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
To watch me, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's me. So I'm not gonna look at it the same, but I guess for like my cousins or my aunts, I was just there with them, and now they're watching like MTV or something, and I'm on the TV.
Right. So it's big time.
So
yeah.
I gotta be, yeah. So it happened. Awesome. It happened quick though. It happened overnight. It did. Now the process wasn't overnight. I've been through a lot, striving to get there, but once I met Damon Dash that night, everything I was dreaming about all them years and was praying for was starting to just unfold in my face, like videos, and I'm flying on jets and in the studio meeting everybody, JayZ, dinner parties, all crazy type of stuff just was happening like a domino effect. It just continuously kept happening. This went on for like 5 years straight.
Wow. Okay. So, I mean, things happen, and I'm sure some people appreciate you taking some of the accountability and whatnot. Now, what's kind of confusing is, so you didn't release an album at all for Roc-A-Fella Records, but what's confusing is when you sign a deal, I apologize. When you sign a deal, isn't it the intent you have like a promise to drop at least 2 albums? Wouldn't there be something in the paperwork that said you had to do that? How did you get out of that without having any issues?
All right, so that's another thing. So through the course, see, this is the thing. What allowed me to be on there so long without dropping the album yet was because I was still being productive with the State Property. So I was making music, and the State Property Volume 2, the Chain Gang album, I got like 5 or 6 songs on there. So to the label, I'm still being productive.
Sure.
They're like, he's working. It's not like I'm just sitting around playing around. I got 6 songs on this album right now, and the songs was dope. Then, I started doing like the features was dope, like with Flipside, with Freeway, and Got to Have It with Beans. And I was landing a lot of dope features that was keeping me afloat, and I had me striding like somebody with an album. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
It was almost like I had an album out. So that's what let the label just not even trip on me too much. But by the time it was near the end, I had spent so much of the budget, a lot of the money off the budget. And when I say the end, I mean like when they broke up and the label kind of just fell apart. Mm-hmm. When Dame and Biggs and Jay they separated. Luckily my lawyer pulled some strings. My lawyer at the time, and I don't know how he did it, but he got me out of the contract without having to pay any money or owing them anything, and they let me go.
Oh, okay.
But without any ties though. So I was a free agent, and I've never signed anything again after that.
Okay, so the Roc-A-Fella split. You were actually on Damon Dash's side. So you left that, became a free agent, and you went back to JayZ, but you didn't sign, but you were still affiliated with him. Is that correct?
I went back to JayZ because at the time, JayZ became the president of Def Jam, right?
Yeah.
My contract was under Def Jam. So he just kept that same contract going. He didn't re-sign me. Okay. It was the same one from when I first signed.
Okay. Almost kind of grandfathered. I never signed it.
He just slid me back in the way it was. And I liked it that because it was just smoother. Nice. It was smoother. And I didn't want to end. My people was like, yo, don't take any more money, man. If you try to negotiate another deal and you're just digging yourself in a hole, go back go with Jay, finish this album up so you get this album out so you can just start making some money.
Sure.
So
Gotcha. So talking about JayZ, how's he to work with, and two, do you believe he's the greatest of all time?
he was dope to work with. Greatest of all time. I'm gonna say, you know what, man? Honestly, I would give him the greatest of all time. That's not meaning that he's my favorite rapper.
Right.
But when I say greatest of all time, I'm meaning like overall everything, not just rap. You know what I mean? Just to just staying in the just being in the game and just the achievements that he made. You know what I'm saying? And it's still hold up. This is the main thing I was thinking about recently. To still be able to rap that good at that age, to not be washed up. I never seen a dude that age rap that good. He still raps as good as he rapped when he was a young boy.
Yeah, because Reasonable
So I
Doubt
would
came.
give him the-
I'm sorry, go ahead.
huh?
I was saying, yeah, because Reasonable Doubt came out in '96, and he's still very relevant, obviously.
But he still can rap really good.
Oh,
He
absolutely.
doesn't sound, yeah, he doesn't sound like dated or like he should stop. But working with him was cool, man. And meaning by that, besides the music part, just he's a good listener. You know what I mean? I really appreciate it. That's the main thing I appreciated because I didn't expect that from him.
Okay.
You know, he was the boss, the biggest boss in the building. And he would sit there and listen to me for like an hour straight.
Oh, wow.
Like he would sit there and just listen. Like that meant a lot to me. Like I never expected that. So it showed me how that he had some respect for me. You know what I'm saying?
Nice. So he doesn't pull the, hey, I'm JayZ, it's my way or the highway. He took your input, you guys collaborate and came up with ideas and made it work, essentially.
Yo, it was cool. And then everything I always asked him, any favors I needed, and just simple stuff, man. He never thought twice about it. He did it for me.
Nice.
A few times. That's why when I do these interviews, and not you, because you seem like a pretty positive dude, but sometimes I talk to some people and they try to gear towards me saying something crazy about him, and I can't think of nothing to say crazy about him.
Definitely.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to be politically correct and all of that. You know what I mean?
No,
we
not at all.
wasn't the greatest of friends, but he was fair. You know what I'm saying?
Awesome. So you talked about him doing several favors for you. Are you able to divulge one of those favors or what he actually did? Or
Well, a couple of things. It wasn't. I mean, one of them was really major, but one of them was simple as I had to go to. Somebody wanted me to go on their prom, and it was real short notice, and so I needed to get a prom suit, and I needed like a stretch. I think I wanted a stretch Porsche, the limousine Porsche.
okay.
And I called them, and he said, "Yeah." He said, "All right, cool. When do you need it?" And I told him, if I do go, I need it it was like 2 days beforehand. And he had somebody call me and they was like, "Hey, Peedi, this is so-and-so. Jay told me to take care of everything you needed." And I end up not going, so I called him and thanked him, but I didn't never take advantage of the stuff he was about to do. But he was ready to go. And there was another time when I went back to the label, when I went back to Jay after I left Damon them. I was over budget, and I was talking to Jay about finishing the project up, but I had no more money in the budget. And he asked me like, "Yo, how much time you gonna need, man? Just knock out the rest what you got to knock out, and let's just get this rolling." He said, "I'm gonna open it back up for you," because I was over budget. And I think he opened it up for like 40 more thousand. That's all I needed. I went to Miami for like 2 weeks. Had the little condo, the car service, studio, and just knocked it out. Awesome. And stuff like that, man. And it was stuff like that he did for me. And he'll tell me like, yo, don't be telling nobody I did this.
Gotcha.
So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I
really
appreciate
cool.
stuff like that.
Really cool. Nice. So around that same time, around 2004, 2005, State Property split up. Why do you think that happened?
State Property never split up.
Okay, so it's misreported when you look it up, when it says State Property broke up around 2005?
Yeah, we never officially had broke up.
Okay.
If some of us had issues, I'm serious. We never broke up.
Okay.
Now, if Beanie Sigel, Beans, is considered the leader of the group. If he's having issues, then there's not so much that State Property can do without Beans involved.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Like if somebody tried to book us all for a show and Beans is locked up or he's in the hospital or something bad or anything, he's not feeling it, they're not going to book us because they don't got, because it's not the same without Beans. You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
So, but we never broke up. So they worded that wrong wherever that's posted at.
I think it's even on Wikipedia it says that, but I saw it on several articles, but nevertheless.
Yeah, we've had issues, but officially, like, yo, there's no more group. That's never happened.
Interesting. Okay. So you also talked about having great collaborations. You had a nice song with Neo. I think it was one of your top charting songs called Stay. How was working with Neo?
Actually, to be totally honest with you, that was my biggest song to date.
Okay.
So but working with him, I never actually worked with him.
Oh.
I did that song in Manhattan because JayZ's partner Tata, you familiar with him?
I've heard of him, yes.
Yeah, so Tata was executive producer of that first Neo album.
Okay.
I was in a meeting with Jay and I seen Tata and he said, "Oh, I need you on the track, Crack. So when you're done, I need to talk to you." I got done talking to Jay. I go in Tata office. He said, "I need you for a verse. I need you to do it right now." And this was back in the day when, you know, they'll give me a CD, I'll write to the beat and then come back up. But he wasn't having that. We walked from the office to the studio right there on the spot.
Okay.
And it was just me, him, and Guru. You know, Jay engineer Guru.
Okay, yeah.
And I knocked the track out right there. And I never met Neo until the video.
Okay.
Until I met him at the video shoot in California.
Gotcha. So how was he?
The song was already #1.
Okay, so was he hey, thanks for the verse and everything, or?
It was so simple. Hey man, how you doing, man? You did a good job, man. Let's do this. That was it.
Very cool. Nice. You also worked with DJ Jazzy Jeff. How was that?
That was great. Yo, that was really good, man. I got a crazy little story about that. So, you know, in Philly, we from Philly. Yeah. Those are like super iconic legends to us in Philly. Definitely. Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I've always admired them, and they were very inspirational to me too coming up. But so we got a mutual friend named Charlie Mack here in Philly. Everybody knew Charlie Mack. He was Will Smith's bodyguard throughout the years. So Charlie Mack calls us and says, "Peedi, I talked to Jazzy Jeff. He want to know if you're interested in getting on his album. He wants you to do Brand New Funk Over," which is one of my favorite songs from Jazzy Jeff. I couldn't believe it.
That's awesome.
I said, "Yo, that's my favorite. That's my favorite song from them."
Wow.
I know that song by heart. I know that song word for word, the original.
Okay.
So we drive to Jeff crib. I think he was living in Delaware at the time. Big crazy mansion, all glass. One side of it is just all glass. It was crazy. So it got the big movie theater downstairs, studio downstairs. It was it was so crazy. I'm sitting in his house talking to him, and I keep thinking of like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like Jeff, like Jazz.
Yeah.
I felt like I was I thought I was in the sitcom.
Gotcha.
It felt
awesome.
weird.
Wow. Really cool.
So anyway, we kicked it for a while. I think I had smoked. I don't smoke weed, but I had smoked over there at Jeff crib, and I shouldn't have. And I got real stoned and really high, and I couldn't function right, and I had to cancel the session. I had to cancel the session, and I felt bad because I thought it was over for me. Jeff was like, "No, you cool, man. Go home, get some rest, come back." I thought in my head, like, yo, I'm never gonna get back here. Sure. I think he's just being nice.
Right.
I'm thinking he's being nice. Like, yo, once I leave, they're like, yo, don't ever bring him back here.
Yeah.
But a couple days went by. I come back to the house and we knocked it out. We did Brand New Funk, and we ended up shooting a video and everything. Jeff, one of the dopest dudes in the world, man. I was just at his crib recently.
Okay.
I was just at his house. He got a different house, a new house. We over there kicking it in the studio. I watched him. He did like a little cutting, scratching session for us, and we ate fish. He cooked fish for us. It was dope.
Nice. Is he the best
gave
DJ?
Me a lot of,
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say he gave me a lot of good pointers on some business things that I wouldn't have never even thought of. But I would say he is my top 3 best DJ, because there's some dope DJs out there, so I'm not going to be crazy and say he's the number 1 in the world, but he got to be top 3 in the world.
Definitely would think so, for sure. Gotcha. So tell me about the Crakk Files. I know you have 4 installments, correct?
It's 5.
5, excuse me.
Mm-hmm. What you want to know about them?
I mean, how did it all come about? They're basically mixtapes, correct? They weren't released with a label and all that?
Yeah. They were mixtapes that we was just doing just in support of my whole movement and career at the time. And I was doing so many features that they came about. I didn't even think of this. There was a DJ named DJ Ant Live. He's still out here. Shout out to Ant Live. He's from Jersey. So he was smart. He thought up. He said, you know what? This kid, Peedi Crakk, just got signed. He's buzzing all in the streets. I keep hearing these different features and freestyles from him. I'm just going to compile all of these freestyles from him and put them out on a mixtape called the Crakk Files.
Oh.
So he put one out. He put one out. It was just called Educated Thug Music. It wasn't Crakk Files yet. I call it Crakk Files 0.
Okay.
Because it's like, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's not. It was the one before Crakk Files was started. The Crakk Files.
Okay.
So when he put that out, I'm watching that circulate around, and I was so excited that the people were taking good to me that I would keep seeing the CD, but I wasn't upset that he was selling my CD. I was happy. I wanted people to bootleg it. I wanted to see it more and hear it more. I just wanted people to keep talking about it. So I met up with him, and he said, "Yo, I'm the DJ that's putting out that Educated Thug Music for you." He said, "Yo, we should do a mixtape together. We should do like a Crakk Files Part 1."
Sure.
I said, "All right, bet. Come on." He's like, "Yo, you don't even have to do nothing. You just keep making the music. I'm gonna grab the music and I'll compile it and we put them out." So we just started doing these like every 2 years. We would do Crakk File 2, Crakk File 3. It would be all the music that I did, features and guest appearances on this song, or just a freestyle I did for the radio or anything. We'll compile them. I'll talk on them a little bit, and they just started to turn into this thing. And people, they kind of legendary mixtapes, Crakk Files.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So out of the Peedi Crakk catalog, including the Crakk Files, any song you've been on, what is your favorite?
Damn, man, that's a rough one. That's a rough one, man. It's
so many.
It's 2, all right.
Okay.
I'm gonna say 2. I'm sure it's more.
Yeah.
But what comes to mind, what always comes to mind first, is Temporary Relief.
Okay.
There's a song called Temporary Relief, and then is the classic Fall Back.
Okay. Nice.
Fall Back track. So those 2 are my top 2. That when I listen to them, I don't know, I could hear the space I was in and how I was feeling, and I could feel the energy, and they represent me well.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Excellent. Very nice.
Yeah.
So going back to being from Philly, I heard yourself in an interview say this, and I also heard a couple other rappers, including Will Smith, I guess has given this advice. Something along the lines of, when you're a Philadelphia rapper, get your money, then get out. Are you able to comment on that, what that would mean, or why somebody would say something like that?
Oh, they mean get out of Philadelphia?
Yeah, I want to say I heard you on Breakfast Club, and I want to say I heard a couple rappers say, Will Smith would say, hey, if you're a Philadelphia rapper or in entertainment, get your money, then move out of Philadelphia or something along those lines. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Philly. I'm just trying to understand the context.
No, listen, and that's not only for rappers, man. That's just in anybody that's being successful in Philadelphia. It's the city. It's called the city of brotherly love. That's not what it is.
Okay.
They won't allow you to do too good here. If you're doing good here, you got to keep it low, and you can't be flashy, and you can't let them see you enjoying it. Because when people if they're not involved, they're not going to be happy for you. I've experienced that myself. So you do got to get it and get the hell out of here. You got to get around. But that goes with anything, man.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get around people it's not like you see. Look, people used to act like you're changing or you're getting brand new, but your life is changing. If your life is changing, I gotta be you got to be where around what you're doing.
Sure.
I can't stay in the hood, and my life is changing, the money is changing, and the cars are changing. We have to change our environment. So I definitely suggest you get out. These people will kill you here, man.
Wow.
It's crazy. It's really crazy here, man. I've experienced some crazy stuff, just trying to enjoy what I work for. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Interesting. Okay, so you also mentioned that you would never sign with another record label. So let's just say hypothetically, whether it be Jermaine Dupri, Timberland, JayZ comes back, Dr. Dre, any of these guys reached out to you, you're going to say no, you might work with them, but you wouldn't sign a deal, or was there any
Yeah,
type of
I would
exception?
work. I would partner up with them, but I wouldn't sign and just be sitting and working on your label because I know how to run the label too. So
Gotcha.
we partner up and we could push Peedi, but I'm not signing like we did back in the day when we were kids.
Excellent.
And I enjoy that portion of the business, not just the rapping performance side. I'm not so much into that part no more. The performance side and I'm more interested in the business structure of it and learning that portion of it and the promotion and the creating of the product. I like to create it and learn how to sell it. That's what I'm more interested in right now.
Nice.
Writing the music and performing is a piece of cake. That's super easy. But I like to learn. I want to get behind the desk and get busy and point the finger and help some of these other new artists. I believe I can do that.
Gotcha. Do you have anybody that you've mentored somewhat recently that you can use as an example,
I,
or?
I mean, you may not know of them yet, but I mentor rappers all the time
Okay.
and producers and all type of artists that come talk to me, especially the ones that I like and that I'm actually a fan of, even though they haven't made it yet. But I can just see the talent in them, and I like when it's raw talent, when it hasn't been like tampered with, and they just naturally they're not even trying to do this the way how the industry is going to try to make you do it. So I try to give them some game and tell them some things that they don't even have to do. Back in the, you know what I mean? Some things that
Yeah.
I went through that I didn't. Yeah, I try to help them. Like, yo, don't even do. You don't even have to do that. Just
Mhm.
go just straight for it. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. So, I mean, your selection process, basically, if somebody is an up and coming rapper, you basically have to feel their style. You have to be almost be a fan of them for you to basically agree to help them out. Is that correct? Or
I gotta be a fan of them, man. Sometimes I'll do a song for free with an
okay,
artist if I like them that much. If I think you just that dope, like yo, he's just dope. I just want to be on this song.
hmm
I felt like that. Because if I don't, then only way you'll really get the verses if we, you know, work something out
awesome. And
business wise.
yeah, and that's a really good point. So, say you're a salesman. A good salesman is going to sell something well for a product they truly like and they believe in. If you're selling something you don't like, it's not going to convey as well to customers. And if you're not a fan of that rapper, it's hard for you to promote them.
Right. Even with my own stuff, if I'm not in love with the project, I mean, down to the artwork. If I put a mixtape out tomorrow, the only way that I would say that this is complete is if I really set with this and I know that I love it because I know that I'm gonna have to move around and promote this, and I got to do it with some enthusiasm, or these people are not gonna believe me. They got to see that I love this. I'm gonna put my all into it. I'm gonna move aggressively with it. If I don't like it, it's gonna sit around. I'm just gonna try to hurry up and just let this fade away because I don't like it. But down to the artwork, I gotta love it. So when I pick this CD up or I'm posting on my page, I'm gonna do this consistently, and you're gonna see it. You're gonna be like, yo, Crakk is really into this right now.
For
So
sure.
you gotta love it, man. You gotta be in love with whatever you're doing, man, or I won't do it. That's why I step away so many times. If I'm not in love with it, I just rather chill and not tarnish the image. You know what I mean? I'd rather
For sure.
have the image that's in your mind of me right now, like, yo, Peedi Crakk was dope, man. I'll just take that, opposed to stepping back out here and be like, damn, he maybe it's dope. And he put that project on, it was whack, and I ain't kind of messed up. And no, let's just leave it at he was dope until I'm ready to get dope again. You know
Gotcha.
what I mean?
Makes perfect sense. So you have to be in love with the artist, their style, and whatnot. Are you in love with the state of hip hop, how it is currently?
Nah, not musically. Hell no, not musically. But I'm in love with the business direction of
Okay.
it. I love how it's going down. To watch how easy and quick it is to really get rich, and to have some ownership for the first time in hip hop.
Awesome.
Artists don't need labels. This is beautiful, man. You can run your company from your phone. It's a piece of cake.
Heck yeah.
It is.
Absolutely.
So I like that. But musically, I guess I'm so just polluted from the original good hip hop that I just can't tolerate too much of this other stuff.
Is it safe to say Peedi Crakk will never put out a mumble rap song?
Yeah, man, it's very safe to say that. I have never, ever, ever, ever used auto tune. And some people are like, damn, you never did auto tune? Never in my life, ever.
Gotcha.
Never.
Very nice.
I'll never do a mumble rap song. I don't desire to, and it's not that deep to me. Some people see a lot of people that's doing mumble rap, they're following trends because it's lucrative. So now you're doing it for the money. You're not doing it to be creative and be innovative and make something dope that's gonna stick around. You're doing it because that's what's happening right now. You can get a quick little couple dollars. But thank God that we done got money before and have done this, made hit records the right way, organically. So I'm not hoeing out for a couple dollars when I'm respected as a genuine artist that's gonna give you. I'll take the money is just money, man. But you do some stuff for just money, I'll never look at you the same way. You'll lose that. You'll have a certain level of respect that I won't have for you. But I demand the respect. You'll never be able to say that I did this for that or that. Like, yo, I just want you to know, like, yo, that's Crakk. Like, even when I'm not here, I need to be in the history books. Like, yo, Crakk was one of the world. Crakk was dope. Throw Crakk on.
For sure.
I need that in my life. You know what I mean?
I like it. Good stuff. So speaking of your legacy and, being dope and all that, what is your legacy as a Latino rapper?
You know what? I'm tapping into that. See, this is my thing. All right, so throughout the years, like people like Nori and a few other Spanish artists always try to encourage me to do more Spanish music. Like, yo, do some more Spanish music, man. Get into with your culture and your heritage. I said, listen, I understand that. I represent my black side and my Spanish side to the fullest. But when it comes to music, I make the kind of music that I grew up on, the kind of music I like to hear. I grew up on East Coast hip hop. I didn't grow up on reggaeton music or whatever. Right. No disrespect to reggaeton, but I'm just saying when I create music, I create the music that I grew up on that really inspired me to even do this as an artist. I grew up on East Coast hip hop. That's what I thrive off of. You know what I mean? So, but lately I have been tapping into more the Latino rap, but my style of it, not reggaeton style and all, just East Coast rap, but with my Spanish twist on it. So y'all be hearing that soon, though. Matter of fact, me and a kid named K Smith, which is Will Smith's nephew, we just did a song.
Really?
We just did a track, and we about to shoot the video in like 2 weeks. And I put a lot of Spanish on that track.
Okay.
So
that's gonna be released on all platforms then?
Yeah, most likely, because this kid goes kind of hard. There's K Smith, awesome. And he got the resources. Being from the Smith family and all that.
That doesn't hurt.
It'll be everywhere for sure, though.
Very nice, awesome, good stuff. So for your off the radar segment, there is reports that Questlove offered you a spot in the Roots. One, I guess, is that true? And why did that never happen for the second part of that question?
No, Questlove never offered me a spot in the Roots. He just mentioned to me one day, like, yo, we all love you over here, Crakk, man. We love what you do, man. And you kind of like an honorary Roots member, man.
Gotcha.
I said, yo, I appreciate that. But he never was like, yo, you want to be with the Roots? Let us know and come over. No, that's not how they roll. They don't act. That's not how the Black Thought and Quest move. They'll show you the love so much. And shout out to Rich Nichols too. God rest his soul. He did a lot for me too. He was their old manager.
Okay.
He helped. He pressed the button on me being on a lot of them albums. I'm on 3 Roots albums. Yeah. So they, just by them showing the love, like by Black Thought considering having me on long time and get busy and all of that. That showed me right there, like, yo, the love is there.
For sure. That's awesome. That's what's kind of confusing when I would read reports about that. I mean, the Roots are awesome. You got your great style. You're both from Philly, but it's almost like they have a different fan base, or almost, I mean, it's hip hop. I'm not saying it's not, but it's almost like it's a different genre of hip hop, if that makes sense.
It is, man. It is a very different particular genre. It kind of reminds me of like a kind of neo hip hop, kind
Yeah.
of
Right.
like a neo vibe. But I like it a lot, and you know, it's
Absolutely.
involving Black thought. Black is one of the hip hop guys, like, you know what I mean?
For sure.
When it comes to spitting, so I don't know, man. It's fun. It's fun working with them though, because there's no pressure.
I'm sure.
It's no pressure adapting. The vibe, the vibe, the content of their music is easy for me, because it's really no direct content. It's really on just how you feel.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Definitely. Makes
So I
sense.
like it. I love working with Black, man, and writing with him. Never no pressure with him.
Awesome. Good stuff. Well, I appreciate everything. Before I let you go, do you have anything else you want to promote? How can fans follow your career? Any social media you want to promote?
Well, yeah, you know, right now, Instagram, just like everybody else, is Peedi Crakk. It's just Peedi Crakk. It was Peedi Crakk 1, but the person who stole my just Peedi Crakk let me have it back.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Very nice.
yeah. So it's just at Peedi Crakk on Instagram, and you know, for any type of business, you can just email me at pedicrackmgmt@gmail, and we could get this thing cracking, man. And what I wanted to tell you, we're about to drop. We're about to drop, man, this summer, man. The pandemic kind of slowed us up a little bit.
It did.
We were in mid stride before this happened, and I was just gonna drop a 8-song kind of EP, or like 6-song EP. So that's still coming, but we just had to put a pause on everything. You know what I mean?
Understandable.
So, but this summer for certain, man, I can't let the summer go by without dropping something.
Right.
At least the EP. Yeah.
Awesome. Something to look forward to. Well, Peedi, great stuff. I really appreciate your time and thank you so much.
No doubt. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for reaching out to me, man. You did great.
Yes,
Good
sir.
questions.
Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
I no doubt. Peace.
Take care.